Gotchi has so much damage and so much harass for the first few minutes of the game, and we're seeing that applied here onto that troll. He's feeling it.
Especially just putting 1 point in win run and then just trading 3 seconds.
The micro. And again, Hunter doesn't respect it, gets caught out, and this time he brings a Necro for the Necro stack. How many stacks does he have now? Let's have a look. 3. 3 sides.
He is currently on 3 with...
Gives that to Zeus? Yep.
So I think the most important thing to check is to swap to net worths here and look at the net worth here.
Oh, hang on, Gabala
Zeus is winning.
Has been found by the Morphling, but he is pretty thick. Looks like he's just...
Really good counter to the Spirit Breaker because of the Demonic Purge, completely rips off Bulldoze. And it will also pull off the attack speed on Ursa. So those 6 hits, a lot of heroes they just can't get them 100 zeros. They just can't kill them.
Hard to fight against a team that has a 30k lead, you know?
Yeah, that's just... If they weren't 30k up and they could just go back into his roots of like playing LD, playing all these really memey pos ones, maybe they get Gooby on Razor or something. I think it was completely overlooked. I don't even think it was banned. I don't know how to do that.
I didn't see I mean, he is on Team Spirit, arguably one of the best teams in the entire world, so let's see if Huncho can replicate the big Lal plays, dude. So, which team are you...
Forward. Getting at bottom's fine too, but it doesn't have like the same momentum that they want.
That was 900 gold to that tiny as well. That's a lot of gold going the way of a hungry little support. Although
players are so famous for so many different heroes, it can really go like any way, but Gachi plays really well with an IO combo. The Mars is exceptional into the Snapfire, plus it's like bread and butter for Johnny.
I get it.
They just don't know the Roche is happening on Dire. They could honestly contest with like the fact there's only 2 heroes from Radiant in the pit, or even nearby. They're just so spread out farming. I don't think we're going to see a Spirit Breaker game 2. I don't think we're going to see an IO game 2. They're going to maybe try and limit them with their mobility around the map. So I reckon these like...
And his team is here. Out comes the ult. Johnny gets the swap off to try and interrupt that Shadow. Oh, hang on. Shadow Demon is on the sideline. Can he throw any stun? Another huge Mars ult, and that IO is just gone. Down goes Gabala as well. Troll on the edge. Wants to go in on the Tiny, but Tiny gets the blink off. Now that Troll ult is down. He is still forced to just run at that.
Have they revealed the blink on Mars yet? I don't think so. I think he got it after that engagement. Oh, yeah, he shows in lane now. Never mind. Yeah, I think Radiant are just going to drop this tier 1, play the rest of the map.
Troll's getting up from the Aegis, but that is another stack for Gachi, and Gachi's doing his best to slip off into the trees. Can they find him? Yep, of course they can. There's the charge. There's the reverse! Big old, massive Reaper Scythe on top of him, and that is more stacks for the stack. Here's a question. You're talking about finding an answer for the Morphling as a core, but I've seen Undying played as a 3, and I've seen Spirit Breaker played as a 3. Not
only you, until you lose the game with the 100. It's hilarious. Shadow Fiend banned from
Shadow Fiend ban. I was just about to say we've seen this here for 4 times now, for 3 or 4 times. He's not.
I think that's the one.
Yeah, he's not as far behind as he should be. You know, it's still 1,000. Get that charge, but Huncho caught out of position and he's scouted immediately by the bolt. Tiny goes in with the toss, but that's not going to be enough damage to deal with Win Ching, and now the Tiny is dead as well. Oh my.
Off the tower. That's massive, yeah, that is absolutely massive for Radiant. That's like a 2k gold swing and a 2k experience swing. That's going to nullify a lot of the advantage that sort of...
And Prey was playing phenomenally on that Spirit Breaker, carving up and making some real space. But I think the hero of this story for me has got to be Johnny. That Mars laned into and laned the IO. Now Tiny, Gubala, Gachi, you guys need to be a little bit careful because there is an entire Dire team right on top of you. But he does once again get the scythe off onto the troll. It's kind of pretty hype, and so while I think they bought this when they were memeing and having a good time, in this game, when there is just sort of burst damage coming out from Slaughter Gang, it sort of has... Morphling's just going to try and port out here. No, cancels his port, but that might be a mistake, Reverie, because there are 4 Radiant heroes here and they are looking for you. He does have 4,200 HP and is outside his tier 3 though, so he might just live here.
With the Rubik is the most synonymous combo. The man has like 30,000 matches and like 3,000 of them on Rubik. So I definitely see that. They're both incredibly unique and they both have a good flavor to them. Like obviously attack or defense, right?
Yeah.
There's no ambiguity to it. They're both insanely good when you want them. You know what I mean? See, facet. Basically, as he gets more and more kills with his Sadist, because obviously you get 1 stack every time you kill a creep, and you get, is it 6 from a hero? And currently
just unbelievable. And I wonder if IO decides to go for, is it Blitzkrieg or Kritzkrieg, the heal one, the extra magic resistance? Could be pretty good, but then there's not a whole lot of magic team on.
They cast the disruption instantly on the Spirit Breaker, which didn't last at all, and then he gets baited into thinking he can go on the Shadow Demon, but then
missed axe call, drops the Dagon and then drops the Dark. Favoring here. It looks like some really interesting matchups and some straight.
There's a lot of comfort going around here. I honestly say I slightly favor the Dire here, because when
so close. Prey is running now and he's a very fast hero. Tiny, hungry, goes for the beach ball play and is absolutely successful with it. Love a beach ball play. Used to get those all the time back in my day. Oh, right? Like, I was such a strong hero. They're feeling around. RFA getting a bit cheeky. Gubala, chosen the creep. Oh, in comes that huge Mars arena, and the Tiny elects to blink into the arena, which is having a hard game. You still feel like you're in it, especially as a support player. I often get relegated to 5, and when I see a Barra picked, my heart flutters. It's like being a Storm Spirit and seeing a Maiden or an Ezreal on your team. It's like
2k advantage, and whenever Radiant are winning, they're only getting 1 or 2k, and they're not getting any objectives out of it. They're not getting much map.
There's also a 7k XP swing. They're thinking about the double rampage. Do they want Reverie? Are they going to hunt him? Gachi's in, doing what he can, but he's taking a whole bunch of damage from that fountain. They still haven't secured the racks. Just doing 6,000 damage at 5 minutes, as Tinies do in 2024. Hey, this Ricochet has caught me off guard as a support far too many times.
You never know who's pretending and who's actually good. And Pancho George is the kind of player who will dump an OD on you, no matter the matchup. Dire whatsoever. I mean, Morphling did get his Lincolns, but the Dagon unironically also breaks that as well. Meanwhile, Ursa's going to have BKB.
Charge in on Honcho. Now the supports are here to back him up. Is there anything here that they can find some traction on? The ult goes out onto the Undying, and that is a lot of damage coming out from Johnny, and down goes the Undying. Hey, a dodge. Ooh, that Mars might be in trouble if he stays just a little bit longer. Scattershot comes out from the Rubik to get the slow off, and they have to choose a target now. If you chase 2 rabbits, you won't catch either. That Rubik is leaving. In the way of bans, picks, is there like some specific heroes you think are going to come out during the pick phase that we might expect to see across both games? All right, talk to me. There throws 2 heroes of team Radiant into this Mars arena with the big blood sport. There's no saving them. They're stuck in there. They're freaking out because everyone freaks out when they're in a Mars ult.
Bing chilling and zapping shit for free. I'm curious as to how Honcho's going to answer this one though. That's going to be the more interesting question.
And
10 regen, 10 HP regen, and 5 mana. I mean, like, he's just not respecting the toss damage. He's expecting the
IO. Spirit Breaker decides he wants to take this kill on his own. Down goes Wing Xing.
Unfortunate. Building damage, like, the bear can do like a good chunk. Now he has like the maul bonus and like the attack speed. But yeah, they cannot leave the base.
Raccoon is just diving the base. Oh, looks like the Zeus Ags comes out and then goes to who cop 4 or 5 bans, even in the professional scene.
Okay, Hoodwink ban into first pick Tiny. I think that's kind of expected. Tiny's just, oh yeah, you can just see how much like this Tiny does, right? This guy got absolutely jibbed in lane, and he does one toss combo, and that's 2/3 of an Invoker's health pool, and that's an 1800 health Invoker. You need to pick a flexible carry that doesn't have many matchup like losses. So in that position, you could pick like an Ursa, you could pick a Juggernaut, you could pick
What's wrong with me? Why can't I
get
Yeah, on the snap as well. So, well, looks like they found Necro. Troll immediately on top of him. Charge comes out. Troll's gonna just start punching him as fast and hard as he can, and I think
couldn't even tell you what he's going to play tonight. We could just see stock standard stuff like Hoodwink, like Willow. Just depends on what he's feeling. Tiny even. Reverie,
did you, Garchi's gonna try and man fight the Reverie here. Reverie switching to Strength to try and get away. And it looks like he may just do it. Shadow Demon pops the ult on top of Garchi. They're thinking about it, but the rest of something that I can't see. But they seem confident with the way that they locked their heroes. They took the Tiny and they immediately snapped up Snap and IO. So this is an opener for them. They will. Yeah.
But yeah, Gooby's just getting unpunished, playing in their jungle, and he's queued up a Dagon of all things. This is going to be great to see. It's going to be clowny as shit.
I'll say this: Reverie's been dunked once.
Heroes really well, and that's how he's going to try and shine, right?
Okay.
Again, I've never seen much of like the Raccoon Spirit Breaker here, but it's gonna be really, really rough to enable the
game on this Spirit Breaker. Did you say that Raccoon plays a lot of Spirit Breaker, or is this like a?
How the hell did he get up there? Look at where he's standing and look at the wall
he slipped past. He slipped past Prey.
So flexible at the moment, can go really anywhere. And opening the Spirit Breaker. This is another thing that's Oz specialty. The Spirit Breaker. I don't think it's being played nearly at all in Riyadh, but Oz players really love their break.
They play safely. It's going to be hard to kill that Necro. Mars has so much HP, so positionally, as long as they play well, can't see a lot going on down here. But
I wouldn't expect much to happen.
This mid lane, here comes IO! Oh, IO brings Gachi with him! I'm not sure that's the play, IO, and the GG is called.
These are GGs! Yeah. Winching, what are you doing? Oh no.
Oh, represented a bit, and it's strong. Shadow Fiend is so strong, so I'm glad to see it removed from the game.
It's being skipped. Sorry, I don't mean to butt in too much, but I'm surprised they skipped the Shadow Fiend and continue to play. If the Sand King ever gets to Ags, he has Shivas already. Yeah, they're going to have so much trouble playing into it. They only have one BKB across their entire team. Obviously, Zeus is never going to buy it, but they need more players to be able to go
into a Necro. A Necro IO was able to somehow like get what he wanted out of the lane. He really wasn't that far behind. I had a look at the net worth, and he wasn't that far behind. And then on top of that as well, he was able to then just charge coming from the Spirit Breaker. We wonder if Johnny can get the safety before he gets here. Toss back.
He might have missile up.
Staying under the tower.
He's going to be able to connect on charge.
Missile is going to be up, but he's going to be coming out of those trees. And Johnny Ursa lurking on the side. In comes Axe with a phenomenal call. Down goes the SD and down goes the Tiny immediately. Huncho gets a stun off in return. And doesn't have time to get his ult off. The Morphling doing what he can to put some damage on, but he
which means as he levels up Little Shredder, he will be taking all the Little Shredder talents, and he'll be buying like a Maelstrom or a Gleipnir of some description, getting all these procs out. Tiny did take the crash landing, so he'll be pumping the toss.
So are you captain for your team before I go any further?
Yes.
Yeah. So put me in the mindset of a captain in Upper Division Oz. We've got all of these teams here, and I'm not going to make you rank them, because that's rude. The bear is on top of the Shadow Demon, but the bear is also underneath two towers, and there's a whole lot of armor there to keep those boys safe. Toss back, and out of position, straight to that Sand King. He's stunned under two towers, and he is eliminated!
Did you see it?
I did not see it as well. I was looking a bit at that Tiny, and the Morphling is feeding...
for the second time.
feeding kills to Gabala. Diadem too. It felt like they were on the back foot the entire game, and we saw how good these players can play. We saw how strong they were in the first game. Slaughter Gang absolutely killed it, and yet all of a sudden,
where it follows you around, because
I can answer that one. For once, I can answer that one, because in the pro scene, they're deciding to they just value the invisibility more, and once you've got the bloods. Okay.
Young Harold has Blink now. That is how impactful that engagement was for him. This is the Tiny who had phase boots at like 12 minutes, now has Blink before 15. I told you, he's a comeback king. Most people say this matchup is Morphling favored. I think on paper, it is strictly a 50-50, and it depends on how the fights start and how the rest of the team interacts with each other. So because
this game.
he's stomping them.
Tiny out of position
there's
and
no
gets caught
Tiny.
by Gachi as well.
Jeez. Slaughter Gang can...
RFA is now in trouble as well as he tries to run to his tower and just gets up down!
Double kill for
Okay! Nice, young Harold. And Gachi going in bottom.
Gachi gets a kill, 2v1.
And the troll might have to pop ult here if he wants to have any chance of surviving it. Though I don't think he can survive. I think he decides to try and take someone out with him, and it's going to be Gabala. Huge!
Oh, the mech!
Oh, the mech! Big save! Stops that.
These are big kills. They're feeding like massive streaks. They really need to get serious on the Australian rejects and finish this match.
Oh, Gachi.
Oh, he's on
jumping on
Morphling?
top of Morphling. Morphling's just going to waveform away. He needs to be careful here. He gets the stun out in return, but it looks like there is some dust on top of that big space cow. And in just a moment, we'll see a dunk on top of Huncho. RFA can't save him from that one.
The Dagon Cup.
They're chasing, and the Morphling gets the kill, and that is a... Holy shit, that is a lot of gold that goes away the Morphling, and you don't want to be feeding the
That's
Morphling
another
that much gold.
1800. That's if he wants to play into Shadow Fiends. Because
Can
you can't, like, play
can we just talk
Tiny
about that? Can we talk about the Zeus? I'm seeing an axe called into a Zeus ult, and I'm seeing a dead Morphling. He coming back to lane, just, you know, doing tiny things. I'm gonna come back, hit a few creep, and the moment he arrives, he is EMP'd and completely ran out of mana. Which must be the most frustrating thing in the world. Huncho's up here having a look.
Punch Dog George to get in. When he has his phase blink is when you'll see a lot more movements actually happen.
And he's
I'm
coming
not
up
sure
on
what
his
Gooby was
6.
trying to do there.
In comes the charge from behind the tower, but she gets a perfect little stun on top of him. And Rubik, this damage coming out of Rubik pre 4 minutes is absolutely insane. Good God.
Yeah,
It's
RFA
1,000
is playing
damage.
max limits.
1,000 damage.
And max limits. Fucking ignored you. And just did it anyway. But what you're saying is not wrong at all. However, I definitely would say winching on the Undying it's simple. He plays simple hero.
God, they have so much HP. Is Spirit Breaker still the highest HP level 1 hero in the game? I think he is. It shocks me how much HP this guy has early on. It's just nuts. It's just bonkers.
Fury Bear getting 3 kills at 13 minutes. He's going to have such a quick blink, and he's going to have such a quick Roche. And so, the things to watch out for in the next 5 minutes, Roche goes tops, AE rejects take it. I'm going to guess which heroes can't be seen by their allies, but basically, if you're in the arena, you can only see in the arena. If you're outside the arena, you can't see in. It's like an impassable barrier kind of thing. You can play some Zerpa.
Can I just point out, so
He even got a
satisfying...
Rampage this game.
Yeah.
He got it at Rampage at one point. Like,
Yeah. Alright.
same
Well,
value. Yeah.
Happy Goob absolutely kills it. What a phenomenal game of like Slaughter Gang did, or are you going to come up with another wild pick that's a little bit unpredictable, a little bit spicy?
So I think both teams are going to mix up the drafting here. I buy in these early.
Charge comes out, and they found Raccoon again. Raccoon playing forward. The reload is coming in, and in comes our big. Oh my god! If that toss damage is just
4-2 still open. The Venge 1-3 still open. The Shadow Demon. It's probably going to be 5. Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
But Slaughter Gang still have so much. Actual defensive item now, so it's going to get a lot harder to kill him after that, you know?
Now, what I will say
the travels to farm efficiently.
is Dyer had some really good vision in this early game. I'm not sure if you saw it, but it was scouting. Matic controls rolling axis, and Gabala is gone. Doesn't even need to pop
not
the
getting
ult.
to the start he wanted this game. He definitely wanted to be doing a bit better than where he is now.
But the sun comes out. Oh, lucky Lincoln's there, keeps him alive for now.
Just die so quickly on
Huge
Dire.
axe call. Huge axe call. Zeus needs to be careful here. They've got an execution in mind. There's the Mars band, there's the Rubik band. You called that. And they
I didn't
take
call
the
the Mars
Spirit
band,
Breaker.
but they steal the Spirit Breaker, so that's gonna flip it.
But honestly, I think we are going to see a pretty fierce game tonight. From what you've told me before, of course, we went live, and from what I've seen from this upper division, it seems like it's going to be a bit of a brawl all the way into the captain's. I have very Herald perspective. You're the big
I
brain
wouldn't have
analyst.
expected it into the Zeus, you know? Like, the Zeus
Yeah, good point.
gives, like, vision constantly. But, like, all he has to do to win the game of Sand King is get on top of Zeus and drop a lot here. The Morphling is free farm, but I will say, the Ursa... Oh,
Oh,
bottom
Tiny
lane.
goes down to
down.
bottom lane. They drop the Tombstone and they secure the
Tombstone under
Tiny.
tower.
They're absolutely whiffing it because of the pressure. But then when it's time to shine, some of them are making some of the 6 plays I've seen in a while too. It's such a good game with Dota. I love Dota.
A little bit. Tiny instant from Slaughter Gang.
Yep.
Okay. So I expected the Breaker to get banned, but I guess taking it instead of leaving it on the table is kind of like the same thing.
Pouring their way back into it.
There's still 20k in the hole, but it's possible, you know? They scout out the vision using the Zeus, so like...
Oh, charge through
Honestly-
onto John, and the whip comes out. Looks like they're still looking for Win Xing. Shadow Demons died somewhere in the background that I didn't quite catch, but looks like Axe jumps in to get a good call, but he's delayed by the Avalanche Toss, and now... Oh, is he in trouble?
These are like the 2 most impactful picks on both drafts, right? Get rid of them. They're both gone. There's no way.
Okay.
They
okay.
might try the Necro again, but I think Gachi... I think he was blood grenaded, that's why he was a little slow on the uptake there. He has boots now, but I don't think he's gonna try. I wouldn't expect him to. Oh wow.
You're expecting to see that same competition, that same fire tonight as well, huh?
I think so, yeah. These 2 teams on paper should be relatively close.
That Necro might be in a little bit of trouble. His team is coming.
He has a
Can
York
Io get him out? Will Io try and get him out? Are they going to try and take this fight? The Avalanche Toss comes out. Another huge Mars ult. Their whole team is caught inside it. And just like that, we've lost the... Dire draft seems like the easier draft to execute. But
100%.
I've been proven wrong before. I'm sure you remember the Venomancer from last night. So let's see
God.
what they... Let's see this troll. He's gonna bump into Snap if she's not careful. No, yeah, Battle Fury on Troll. He's got his Blade of Alacrity. How do you like these timings? Do you think he's having an aura? Yesterday or the day before, that ability to give his POS 5, and potentially a core if they're having a bad game, but to give his POS 5 that XP boost, you know, even if you
Pit and Slaughter Gang took second pick. Slaughter Gang and second pick Dire again. So again, this should favor the AU rejects for their drafting phase. First ban on the nothing. So he's not out of it yet, you know. He will still be one to watch once he gets his 6 and once he makes like maybe a power rune rotation if he's lucky. Doesn't have to worry about it too much.
bottles filled once
He
again.
has just rushed a vessel, and this 1k gold lead, you have to note, is in regards, like, the bottom lane has a...
Try and get some damage onto you as well. Missed the axe call because of the swap. Beautiful play there from Johnny. And down goes the cow. Okay, they're in action. If they eliminate this cow, they might actually be able to play this fight. Vengeful is running, but the Shadow Demon goes down to the Dagon and the dunk. Traditional, and not super strong. But there are a lot of answers to Morphling on support heroes. Nope, they decide to take the axe. That's a classic Morphling.
So, what you're saying is not completely wrong, right? I understand they just completely...
Am I still right? Zeus still has the percentile drain to get through that huge Morph HP pool?
Yes, and he also has a shard that lets him auto-attack. Oh, is this a Hencho George?
See draft from Radiant. To me, I'm seeing Radiant here with a really oddball draft that they're not going to draft these heroes unless they think they work together, and they might be cooking some... And I feel like we see more of these. Monkey goes, good to see Monkey. It looks like Slaughter Gang are focusing some real meta heroes rather than target banning, at least from what I can understand. That's very exciting for me. I'm pretty stoked to see you in Evoker.
They're still discussing on Radiant. I think they're still discussing what they're going to do here. Only winching is, like, obviously winching Io was guaranteed.
Wouldn't have that confidence, right?
Mid-tiny, 1 Necro, 3 Snapfire. I actually don't know. All these players play all these positions, and I'm actually really confused about what they're trying to do here. So I think twice about picking this Io. I would expect they're going to think twice about picking the Necro. The Io will likely get banned by Dire next game. Like, he did so much
of it, so that's going to get really scary.
He's just mirroring what they did to him game 1. He's got the he's got the Shadow Blade, and he's got the Octarine queued up. It's exactly what they did to him game 1, and he's just blood the water.
On the edge. They're looking at this. They're looking at this axe, but they whiff the avalanche, and now the Mukau is on top of Tiny. The whole team is here though, but they are grouping up, and there is a Battle Fury roll. We've got Gutti on Necrophos, Young Harold on Tiny, Gabala on Snapfire, Winxing on Io, Raccoon on Windranger, Huncho George on Invoker. Again, but Gachi is on top of the Morphling. Gachi tossed up and is deleted by that tiny toss damage. Reverie does have the charge here if he plays this right. He's looking for something else. He's trying to get trapped
entirely, and opting for the Eternal Shroud instead because of how much damage the toss combo does to you.
Shadowblade on the Spirit Breaker at this stage.
It's going to start getting out of control.
There is a Glipnician. Raccoon is diving, and down goes Tiny as well. That's a 5-man wipe! It's a 5-man wipe!
The entire team is gone. They're all gone. What the hell?
But they didn't deal with the bear. And there's that beautiful save from RFA, but it might not be enough to save the Venji. She's slipping out in the back. She's got to deal with the zombies. She doesn't deal with the zombies, and now she's dead. They smile and have a bit of a laugh.
Yeah. So they do have the shard now on the Undying, even though they... did they get...
That Windranger though, Windranger getting the run off, but I do hear a Spirit Breaker ult on the side, and it looks like Necro's been caught out of position. Does get the scythe off though before he goes down, so he doesn't go down empty-handed. Actually, they can! Double damage on the Invoker. Does the Invoker stay to try and get more? No, Alexa just leave. He's got what he can. He's hanging. He wants it. Yeah. So this is fantastic. If someone dies close to him, he gets an illusion of the hero that has died close. So it can be enough to give you the damage that you need in a fight, but usually
Mars response probably for Johnny Sins.
So these guys have done their research on each other then. What I saw then was an Io pick. Obviously Io, one of my favorite heroes, one of the best heroes in the game. Even a little bit worried because, to be honest, the draft that came out from Painters, AU Reject, last game was worrisome. But this time they've drafted better, and their draft is really coming together.
Having me on, I appreciate it. It's an amazing series to watch. I was going to watch it anyway, and I'm glad we could have a really fun time while watching it, because my god, they put on a show game 2. Game 1 was a bit of a picking bottom. They got the Ursa in position.
I think Johnny feels that something is coming this time, and does have the stun. Throws the stun onto this Mukau, but that means that bear is free to just jump on you. Gets the swap, tries to swap the cow in to him. Susol comes out to give vision. He is trying to pour it out of there with the avalanche, but there's the Dagon coming out from the axe!
Oh my god.
Oh my god, Gabala is feeling themselves. Dagon axe, it's been a long time.
Because you can cast it while stunned, but not while silenced, and Dire has no silences at all, but they have a lot of stuns.
Okay,
Okay,
Axe here,
the track-
goes down, charge through. Looks like Johnny's little tiny Aghanim spirit is in a whole lot of trouble. He gets to swap off to try and waste as much time as possible, but I think he is going to go down. Come to these fights, get these absolutely stellar Mars ults off. The amount of times I screamed, oh my god, another phenomenal Mars ult in that game. As he just gets in, there's a call out on Muncie's Magnus. I don't think I've seen him get it once. Oh, he got it in one game. But they know what he can do on that hero, and they say no. And we saw a little bit of that last night. Nabi's been copping some ban. Two-way street.
Like, he just charges through the wave. The wave's dead.
So do you want to talk
And
a little
then
bit... Oh, looks like they're going for a Roche, but I don't think
Oh,
Radiant's...
I like
Radiant's
this actually, yeah. Radiant have no clue. Just because Windshield
It's a run, but that's a little cheeky kill to the bear there.
first hit bash, man.
What I was gonna say,
Cho George gets the Aginims, he's going to control all of the go-in from Radiant and just nullify the crap out of it.
If he gets the space he's been having.
If he can make a play off a Naked Radiance, yeah, but you still gotta respect the fact that he only has 1,000 health.
Right? Oh, power shot just misses! Oh, it was so...
It's such a good counter this game as well. It makes it impossible for like the Zeus to buy a 4-star. It's one of the strongest ways to remove Bulldoze.
Oh, there's three heroes on bottom and they're hunting
That's
Tiny. Tiny needs to see a high skill Shadow Demon. Somebody who can play it much better than me. I'm keen to see that in action. That's super
I
exciting.
can almost guarantee that's going to be an RFA Shadow Demon.